guys, we are back with another episode of the Callum Dunlop podcast, and I am joined by Garvin, someone who I have been keeping a close eye on social media. I came across him was a reel that really caught my attention and something that I actually resonated with so much. I saw that you were mixing it with some of the realists in the game. Rob
Mhm.
the Bank, Colin Bjorkison, you're a good friend with Andrew Scott, who's a friend of mine as well. So I just thought, time to get this man on. So welcome, Cole.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. That was a nice intro.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Cole, I usually just start these off by I just want to get right into it. So tell me a little bit about where you're from and where it all began.
So I'm living in Miami right now, South Beach. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, if you can't tell by the way I talk. But I just recently moved down here to South Beach literally last weekend. I've been selling my brand on Amazon and then TikTok Shop for the past really 9, 10 months. Before that I was a real estate agent. That's my old real estate business right there. That sign behind me. Did that for about 5 years. I started doing that actually like as I was still in college and then moved home. So I did that for like 5 years. I played football in college at South Alabama. Played quarterback football my whole life, bro. I was a football and then a student for 15 years of my entire life.
Nice. So you know what it takes then to be a high level athlete then?
Yes, I do, bro. I do. And I'm trying to get back on that right now. I took a little hiatus, but I'm trying to get back to the high level athletics.
And usually, well, talking about the particular reel that caught my eye with you was usually when you're a high level athlete, it comes a lot with the all or nothing mindset, which you can absolutely use to your advantage when you are using it for things that are adding value to your life, not taking away from it. But the particular reel that caught my eye was you were telling me about your experience in college, and as you were playing football and you were one of the most respected players in the team, that came along with a lot of attention, and you were partying a lot. So tell me a little bit more about your college experience then.
So my college experience was way different than most people's. I'd say probably way different than 99% of people's, right? So I played football in high school. I was a good player. I was a high level recruit. Had a lot of offers going to college. Ended up going to Marshall University, which is what that movie. There's a movie made about it. It went there for like a year and a half, and realized it wasn't going to work there, so I transferred to South Alabama, right? And then basically the last 2.5 years of my college experience is when I start playing a lot. I become the starter. It's when I move off campus and get the only house off campus, right? So really quickly, I become like QB1 and party thrower one at the same time, right? Which that combination led to a plethora of vices at my disposals.
So obviously, I'm assuming that really resonated with it because I'm assuming it was drink, drugs, party, woman.
Yes, all the above, all the above.
So tell me a little bit more about then when obviously you're being involved in some of these things, but they obviously drain a lot of your energy, don't make you feel the best, and then you're having to go out and perform on the pitch. How were you able to deal with like both sides of the life then?
So I look back on it now, dude, and I'm like, I asked the same question. I'm like, dude, how in the fuck did you do that, bro? If I get drunk now, dude, I'm out for 3 days. It's a 3 day recovery. First, I'm just gonna chalk it up to being young and just being in really good shape. I remember, dude, fucking going out on Thursday night, getting a few hours of sleep, and we would be in the weight room at 6 a.m. power cleaning, 315 pounds, all of us drunk as shit. But I mean, I don't know, dude. That's a good question. Just I think when you're living for it, it's easier to deal with. That's all I was living for, bro. It was football, drugs, drinking, pussy, all of it. That's all I was
Or
living for.
then obviously, what was it you were actually studying when you went to college then?
I graduated with a finance degree and then got my MBA because I had some extra years because of football.
Nice, nice. So then, obviously, tell me a little bit more about. So when you left college, what was the next step for you going after college then?
So I've thought about this so much. Like as soon as college ended, so like I was just a different type of person in college, mindset wise, because of my status level, who I was, the mask, like I just all of that shit. And then as soon as football ends and college ends, dude, I revert immediately back to just like cultural programming. I am immediately like, okay, guys, time to get a job, get a girl, move home, get married, have kids. Just immediately went back to cultural programming, and that's exactly what I did, bro. I just went and got a job. Girl I was seeing at the time, we moved back to Atlanta. Didn't work out, but when I look at it now, I'm just like I was going up on a very quick trajectory, and as soon as I went back to cultural norms, is when basically plummeted. And the past 4.5 years has been me hitting the bottom and then trying to get back up. And it's taken 5 years to get where I'm at right now, and I hadn't even scratch the surface, really, in my opinion. So that was my thought process leaving college, which, looking back on it, I think is completely wrong.
Tell me a little bit then about, like you said, you felt like once you left college, you had the decline. What were some of the things that you were experienced during the decline, and why do you think that was happening?
So during the decline, so first of all, I leave my situation where I'm in. I leave being a high status person in this, manufactured environment of college, move home. So I lose my status. All right, I've got the girl. I move in with the girl. Therefore, I become very complacent, right? I start losing the edge that you get. And you got to think, dude, in college, I was living with a house full of men. I was playing a sport with 80 men on it we were all doing the same thing. We were all working very hard. We were all sweating and grinding and crying together, right? And that atmosphere brings a lot of it gives you an edge. Like it brings that masculinity out in you and it makes you the best person. Well, no offense to women. Like women are great. I love women. They're very essential for the entire human race. But when you live with a woman, especially at that young of an age, dude, it's like neutering yourself.
100%.
And I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but it's just like you neuter yourself, bro. And I started getting fat. I started sleeping in the morning. I started not working as long, right? Because I had this soft woman that I was living with every single day saying, hey, don't worry about that hard guy shit that you're supposed to be doing. Come do this easy, soft shit with me. So, and between all of that, bro, and trying to figure out my way in the world, I also think I made some. Looking back on it, when it comes to money and business, I definitely think I chose the wrong industry and the wrong type of business. Knowing what I know now with the internet and your phone, I would have completely changed course earlier on and started something internet based. So that's why I'm making reels, like you see.
100%. So I'm assuming you went straight into the real estate industry then after college, yeah?
Yep.
And
I was getting that shit in college. I was getting my license in college.
I saw one of your reels, and there's a statistic that you said that most agents give up in their first year within
Yep.
90%, and then it's
Yep.
80% give up within the first 5 years. So it kind of shows you how difficult it is to thrive. But something I absolutely love that you said, when you found out that statistic, you took it upon yourself as a challenge, and you were going to try to prove that you were going to be different. So it
Yeah. Yeah.
shows that you have that savage mindset to always try and be better. And I do absolutely resonate with what you're saying there about obviously when you were in college around other men. Like the saying, iron sharpens iron is so true. Is for example, like I come from the boxing background when and guys are coming up for like one of like their biggest fights, say like a world title fight. They always go away in a camp to like another city with their team, with other men, because they know that's where they have to go to lock in, to be away from the comfort to take themselves to the next level. Because like you said, being around women, it's just easy to choose that comfort route. Um,
Yes.
so tell us a little bit more about obviously you dived into the real estate industry. Did you have a little bit of success in that, or when did you kind of realize this wasn't for me?
Yeah, so I mean, I did. I had plenty of success. In 2021, that was a gigantic year. I don't know if the market was the same in Europe as it was in America, but dog, it was. I was selling houses on FaceTime. I was fucking. You didn't even have to take pictures of listings. You just fucking put it on the MLS. And you had a line out the door the next day. Had it sold completely. I mean, shit, dude, going like I saw houses going $100,000 over asking price, right? Which is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, made plenty of money, and it was good too. It was good to learn sales. I think every young man should learn sales. Even if you don't do it for money very long, you will sell your entire life, right? You will operate through that framework your entire life. And then also running real estate deals. It's not a typical sales strategy, right? There's a lot of time. It's a double sell. You got to sell your service, then you got to sell a product. It's probably one of the harder things to sell, other than maybe a large business. Learning how to operate an entire deal, you basically having to zoom out, look at the entire chessboard, and move the pieces the way you want it to be moved. But I would say like maybe by like the end of year 3, like 2022 is when I did a lot of self-development and just self-realization. It was because I made so much money in 2021, but like I didn't have any free time. Like I worked probably 320, 330 days that year. Couldn't even take vacations because I couldn't make money unless I was in Atlanta, right? And when you're dealing with people in service space, bro, like you got to answer your phone every day of the week, whenever it rings. So I was sitting here thinking, I was like, was the money worth it, bro? Like, can you really see yourself doing this shit for another 10 years? And like dead ass, my gut response was absolutely the fuck not. So then I just through development, I realized who I was, what I was good at, what I liked to do, what I didn't like to do, what I really wasn't that good at. And, just myself, bro, I'm type A. I am logical, analytical. I would rather just sit here, look at my computer screen, look at my Shopify, TikTok shop stores, as opposed to getting on the phone and trying to talk to 200 people a day and then going to meet with them and all that. So it kind of just pushed me to e-com, internet based. And also like the money between in real estate is really far apart. Like you might have a great month and then the next month you might not make shit. And then another month. And that just, I didn't like that model. So I was like, I need to make money every day. I want to see money every single day. So it led me to e-com essentially.
Was there like a moment in your real estate career where you feel like what was that exact moment where you were like, you feel like you had you spoke about the bottom. What was that moment where you were like, right, I've just had enough of this? Did something bad happen, or was it just like you were sick of the lifestyle that and it was really dragging you down?
Yeah, nothing really bad happened. 2021 was a good year. And then 2022 is when our market started to like really drop off a cliff. And now it's like starting to come back up like at the current time. It was like the change in cycle for the market. It was noticeable, especially like in your wallet, it was noticeable. And then just being like overall done. I was just done with making 200, 250 cold calls a day, Monday through Friday. Like my goal was 40,000 a year, and I had it like reverse engineered to like, okay, you got to make 1,000 a week, 1,000 a week. That gives you like, 10, 12 weeks to not make calls, but you got to hit 1,000 a week for 40 weeks. And I was just over it, bro. I was tired of it.
Something that you touched on there about sales, I just think that is such an important skill for a man to learn. Everything in life is sales. Me even trying to get you on this podcast was sales.
Exactly, yeah,
Right now,
exactly.
we are essentially selling ourselves. What has been the best lesson that you learned throughout that period through the real estate and developing your skill of sales?
Best lesson was sales. Very good, dude. Sales isn't as hard as people think, right? Especially when you've learned the exact skills that you need. Now, whether you enjoy it or not, that's completely up to the personality, but it's not that hard, right? And then, I don't know, the best lesson I would say is like once you learn, I would say psychology and the way the brain works. Like one of my favorite things that I learned, out of all the things I learned through sales, was frame your questions to where no means yes. So instead of saying, "Hey, can I follow up with you tomorrow?" Like, because people want to say no. especially to a sales guy. They want to say no. They want to get you out of their fucking face and off the phone, right? So if you say, hey, can I follow you tomorrow? Then they want to say no. They're going to say no, and no means no. But if you like reframe it and say, hey, you wouldn't be opposed if I like called you tomorrow, would you? They still want to say no, and they're going to be like, no, not at all. But now the no means yes. Now the no means, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Call me tomorrow. It's all good. That's just one of them. But just learning the skills of sales, you can really get surgical in it, like super surgical.
Absolutely love that, and that's such a good analogy. Like that really resonated with me then. But so, the thing is, which I just find with sales, is that especially I know we spoke off camera about like we're sold this dream to work in a 9 to 5, and that's going to bring us success. And a lot of people who work standard 9 to 5s, I also remember when I worked a standard 9 to 5 in sales, they looked at me so negatively. They think it's like this bad skill, and they were better than me. It was like I was some sort of con. In reality, if you were a good salesman, you could earn more than a doctor, a dentist, more than what the traditional route has told you. And it's crazy because this is a skill
Easily.
that we're not taught in university.
No.
Crazy. It's a similar like kind of thing to what you said there about money, seeing money every day and learning how to manage money. Something that maybe been taught in university, but it's something that's not mentioned. It's like you don't want us to know because we you and I both know the success that that can bring you and the freedom. I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming then that's what kind of made you like go on to then wanting to start the TikTok brand, your mouth tape. So tell me a little bit more about that. I know in the e-commerce industry, I see a lot of people who start brands, and it takes them quite a few like products to find their winning one. So can you tell me a little bit more about your experience from when you started off and how it got like you got yourself to the mouth tape business?
Yeah, so that's a fun story, bro. So like late 2022 is when I'm like, okay, I am done with real estate. I want to do something on the internet. What am I gonna do? Funny enough, I thought I was gonna like stay in real estate, and I thought I was gonna do like this Airbnb arbitrage shit, right? I didn't like the model though. I didn't like the numbers. Seemed like pretty high risk to reward. So I got off of that, and then I'm sure you remember there was a specific human being that was like really exploding through 2021 and 2022 on the internet, who was teaching like internet business,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's in Europe.
Yeah.
So
We can't mention his name or this podcast. Podcast is gonna get no views.
everybody knows who I'm talking about. He's a fucking bald guy and yells at a camera a lot. So I was like, let me join this real world and just see what everything's going about, dude. And joined it. I was in it for like 3 months. Like you really shouldn't be in it for longer than 3 to 6 months. It's not like a be in it forever type of deal. But like within 3 months, I like crushed everything, every course in there. Realized like niched it down to say, okay, I want to sell physical products on the internet. And then within that niche, I niched it down even farther to say, I want to sell physical products on Amazon. Amazon FBA offered the most leverage. Okay. Still does. Still does. They do everything for you. They house, they ship. All you got to do is put the listing up and it runs. So about February of 2023 was when I was done with the real world and I, said, listen, let me find some FBA people. So I trained my Instagram algorithm to just feed me FBA people. I was like, I'm not going to try this venture on a $50 a month education. Like I need to try this venture with a 4 to 5 digit, like one-on-one coaching, like direct one-on-one. So started feeding myself Amazon FBA people, and that is how I found Rob and Million Dollar Brand Club. And what made me like Rob the most was because he, number one, had already done it before, but number two, he was still doing it. Like he was actually selling products on Amazon. A lot of people that sell info are not actually doing it. They may have done it semi well, and then mastered the info game and they're selling info on it. Cool, right? But I want to see somebody that is actually doing that, doing what they're selling. Right? Like Rob's vibe. Like he was a kooky guy, looked cool, looked eccentric. So joined his group, and then I'm a big person. So I wanted to learn the fundamentals. Okay, I have a lot of quotes that run through my head. I love quotes for some reason.
To
Really? I've got like 5 or 6 in my head that I just think about daily.
I
Daily.
every single morning I have this book called 100, and I'm gonna plug it, 107. It's 177 Secrets of the Mentally Tough, 3 pages of it every single day, and it's all about quotes of just basically developing confidence.
Nice.
And it's just a non-negotiable stuck in my morning routine, and I will probably have that for the rest of my life. I've probably read this book like 50 times over, but
That's dope.
yeah, I love
That's dope, dude. I can rationalize quotes so easy, and I can apply them. They're so applicable to life. Well, like one of them that I think about daily, bro, is I think it's Abraham Lincoln. He's like, if you give me 6 hours to chop this tree down, I'm gonna spend 5 sharpening the axe, right? Preparing to make your job easy. So that's exactly how I looked at this. I was like, let me prepare. Let me learn everything there is to learn about this, even if it delays me just a little bit. Let me learn the fundamentals. Because, like you said, Malta's my first and only product, and it's a banger, right? We didn't have a product fail and then try again, have another product fail and try again. Like, we ripped on the first one because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing, right? By learning the fundamentals, studying the market. And that's how I found the Malta. And then we made it completely different too. Like, differentiation is the key to your success when it comes to selling a product. Whether that be an actual differentiation when it comes to the function of the product or just differentiation in the branding. Right? You can just change the branding up and still have pretty good success. We got one dude in the group. He's got a $15 product. He just hit a $200,000 a month too. It's all he did was change the branding. Like, it's the same exact product. He just changed the branding. So that's when we launched these, and have been ripping since.
And tell me a little bit more then about you talk about because it's a product that I've seen that's had quite a lot of it's had a rise. People are talking about it a lot more. So tell me a little bit more about your tape and why it differentiates to your competitors then.
Great, dude. So first of all, we were like, when we were looking at everybody else, the main thing that we were looking at is everybody was selling just the black oval, right? Just the black oval. So we're sitting here thinking like, we got to change the shape somehow, just a little bit. We need to change the color, but like, who really cares about the color? And then my brother, it was actually my little brother, who's part owner of this with me. He was like, what if we scent it? And I was like, bro, if we can figure out how to scent this shit and be the only scented mouth tape in the world, we will be lit. So that's what we dropped first. We dropped like the hero of the lavender scented purple tape, right? And then we changed the shape up just a little bit. We made it like ergonomic to fit your lips. I don't know if you can see that shape.
Thanks.
So it's like mouth shape, so it's like less invasive. And this piece right here, one of the things that I noticed was it was really hard to get the other tape off in the morning. You had to like really sit there and scratch it off with your thumbnail. So we've got this non-adhesive pull-off tab that just sits. So in the morning, you just grab that pull-off tab and rip that bitch off, and it's straight.
Nice. So I know we spoke there about obviously it went on to Amazon. Then the reasons like I obviously came across you was and I really liked your videos was you spoke about the opportunity that is TikTok Shop. So tell me a little bit more about how then you kind of led into that as well.
We were actually forced into that. So Amazon banned mouth tape from selling on their platform. And they did it like after we had already bought our order, right? So we're panicking. Like, what do we do? Anyways, we see that people are still selling it. People still sell bad products all the time. But people are selling it at like big clips. Like, they're lasting a long time. We're seeing 10,000 units sold a month on some listings. So we're like, fuck it, dude, let's run it. We launched January 1st on Amazon. We did something like 40K in like the first 15 days. And then day 15, they snatched us off, bro. And we fought and fought with them to get back up, but they would not let us back up. Now you see, like, it wasn't long ago. I think it was like May. They did a full wiped everybody off, and now they're going after listings like 2 weeks. Like, if you put a listing of a mouth tape, it's gone. You might get like 2 weeks of sales, but it's gone after that. So we were forced into TikTok Shop, right? Rob has mastered TikTok Shop just as he mastered Amazon FBA back in the day. So we really had no choice. We put the listing up on TikTok. We understood the fundamentals of what makes it go on TikTok. We got some creators rolling for us, and just been chugging ever since.
Oh, and that's an amazing story. So two questions in this. Why do you feel like Amazon why are they deleting the listings of the mouth tape? What is it that they Feel like there's this negativity with that product.
Yeah, so the reason they took the product, they made it a restricted product, is they said it was like a liability thing, insurance, something like that, just because you're taping your mouth shut at night. But that's the way they operate. Like they have a huge like restricted product category. Like just shit they don't allow being sold, and they can hurt your seller account if you keep doing it. So like that's just why we just have not tried to get back up. Number one, it's not worth it to go through all that work just for 2 weeks of sales. Number two, we want to keep the seller account healthy.
With your success of the business, then something that I've noticed, especially I've noticed this trend across the board when it comes to young men, but by the signs of things from what you're saying is you owe a lot of your success to, joining a mentorship, having someone like rob the bank in your corner and reaching out. But I know you're only a couple of years older than me, but especially within my own industry, and I just feel like I said, across the board, I've noticed this with young men is from like 18 to 35, they think that they can go out there and do everything on their own. I think it's like an ego based thing that sometimes they don't want to ask for help to get to where they want to be when they're trying to pursue something that maybe their fitness, online business, and they just feel like they can do it themselves. So, can you tell me a little bit more about then, like, what your opinion is with that, with a mentor, and why you think it is so important to reach out to someone who's been there and done what you're trying to do and how it's going to skyrocket your success?
Yeah, this is good, bro, because I was the same way. I remember getting out of college and becoming a real estate agent. And I remember my boss at the time telling me, like, you're going to need a coach. Like, follow these people on Instagram and YouTube, watch their stuff, and you're probably going to want to, like, hire a coach. And I remember thinking, like, no, I'm not. I'm going to figure this shit out myself. I don't need no coach. And I remember, like, year 3 in real estate, I was like, all right, I need a coach. I need someone to teach me. So just through trial and error, has made me realize you need to pay for coaching and a mentorship. You're just paying to cut the learning curve in half. You do it by yourself, your learning curve is this long. If you pay, you shorten it up, boom, you're getting there immediately.
100%. Like, I feel like there's this negative connotation with like coaching or info products, that they're all a scam, and all these people, like, like actually haven't made success in the thing that they're selling, and then they're just selling info products. And I do find like that is definitely something that is real. There's a lot of people in industries who are selling the dream, and they haven't even lived the dream themselves. But like you said there, when you were picking your mentor, one of the things that made you go towards Rob was knew that he had been there and done that. So that's what obviously made you want to go towards him. Would you recommend to a young man out there who feels like they're trying to do something different to the norm, be great, but they feel like they can do this on their own? What's that piece of advice that you would give to them?
Piece of advice I would give to them, young men that feel like they need to do it by themselves. Don't.
They feel like they don't actually need a mentor. Like, you're speaking to your younger self. Like you said, it took you 3 years to do it. What would you have said to the Cole of year one in his real estate journey?
So, okay, I see what you're saying. First of all, I just think this is just I think it's just the way young men are, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think you can tell a 22 or a 23-year-old shit. I don't think you can tell a 22 or 23-year-old male anything, bro. They know what's best. They've got their life under control, dude. Fuck that old guy, that old 28-year-old who's telling him to go get a coach. Fuck that guy. Like, I'll do this shit myself. I think that's everybody. It's the only way to get past that, bro, is to, like, ego check yourself, which is very hard to do at that age. And just, I don't know, you need to look at these older people that are telling you some stuff and really take it to heart. Like, I love talking to like 35-year-olds, 42-year-olds, even like old guys like 65, 70, just because I'm like hanging on every word. I'm like listening to what they're saying. I'm listening to why they're saying it. I'm listening to the tonality they're saying it in, trying to like pull large excerpts of shit out of their brain and put it into mine.
And well, that could lead on to a really good question I wanted to ask you. Then, obviously, you went into this journey of personal development. What has been some of the best advice that you've received over the last couple of years when it comes to this?
When it comes to just personal development in general,
Yeah, or like something that someone's told you, like when you're listening to these people who are trying to be better and grow just everything in their fitness, business, life. What's one piece of advice that's really stuck with you that you've been implementing into your own life?
The one that sticks with me the most is just why wait any longer? That's the only thing I really get mad at myself about when I just sit here and think. Like I turned 29 in a couple months. And the only thing I really get mad at myself is I'm like, bro, why did you wait so long? First of all, why did you waste 5 years in college? Second of all, why did you dick around for 3 years post college in the real world without actually trying hard to do anything? Without actually getting a mentorship, without actually understanding who you were and taking a big risk on yourself, like investing 30K into education and then investing another 70 into a fucking mouth tape brand. Why did you wait so long? You should have been doing this at 18, 19, 20 years old, which that leads me to think like anything I'm going to do, like posting reels. Like I've just started really recently posting reels, right? Why did it take me to 28 to start posting reels? You know, why
It's
did it take me to 25 to start reading all these books? So why wait? Like don't wait any longer. Start doing something now. You will not feel it at first. You got to give it months and months and months, but it'll start coming around.
going back to what you said there about like the younger guy, 21, 22, who's on the come up. You can't tell them shit. They feel like they can do everything on their own, but I do feel like those times are extremely important as well as a young man because you wouldn't be maybe in the position and have the mindset that you do right now if you didn't go through those days. And talking about the guy who was blowing up in 2021, a saying that I absolutely love that he says, "There is no light without dark." It's so so true. So sometimes I feel like when you use those negative times that you had, you use them as fuel to the fire to help you be better and keep like making sure that you learn from them lessons along the way. Then that's going to help aid your success. But I was going to ask you as well. Obviously, what would you say in something that you learned while you left college, started working your 9 to 5, like maybe a skill or something that you learned along that journey that you have implemented into your entrepreneurial journey right now. So something maybe that you learned from your 9 to 5 job after you left college, and you're using that now in your entrepreneurial journey.
All right, so playing sports my whole life and then playing them at a high level, you run into a lot of adversity, right? And maybe not even adversity, just like you just run into hard shit. Like, and that's the point. Like, the point of playing sports at a high level is to like you got to do hard shit so you get better, so you can beat the other person, right? And that takes like a lot of determination to do that, right? When you're, I don't know, what sports you play, but like American football, main everybody that's I don't know if you have many American football players that watch this, but everyone that does is going to resonate with this so hard. The main conditioning for American football are 110s. And that's basically a 110-yard dead sprint, and you got to make it in a time, 17, 18 seconds. You run them on the minute. You run anywhere from 10 to 20 at a time, right? That shit's hard, bro. That shit is hard. But, not only yourself being determined, but, 70 other people around you are determined they're going to make it. So why can't you? They're determined that you're going to make it for yourself. Having determination will blow through walls of adversity so easily, way more than skill will, and way more than luck will. If you're just determined to figure it out, you're gonna figure it out. I was determined to figure out this FBA and TikTok shit, and I did it. And like you're seeing right now, I'm determined to figure out this personal brand shit. I think my shit sucks right now. Barely getting any followers, if any. But I'm determined to figure it out. So like I do it all day. I film shit all day. I edit all day. I post all day. So being determined, which sports taught me, will take you so much farther than other things, other skill traits.
100%. And this is something that I talk about so much, especially just with whatever you're trying to pursue. Really, the difference between the successful people and the ones who aren't is when you gave up, they just kept going because nothing worth doing in life's going to come easy at all. And it's like when these, like, for example, doing your personal branding, you could easily get to heart that you're not getting many likes, not many follows, and then you just think to yourself, "Wow, this shit isn't working." But just when you give up there and then, next week could be the week when you've got a reel that blows. Boom, you get the momentum, and then you're pushing forward. It's just about something that I've learned through these podcasts, trying to be better myself, going to networking events. It really is about just staying in the game and you feel like you want to give up on anything that you're trying to pursue, when you've got this particular time frame in your head of how long it's going to take, it's usually going to take well, and just being okay with
Yeah.
that and knowing that it's going to happen. But and that really is just the difference between finding and I've realized the traits of people who are successful at something and who aren't is they just kept going while others didn't, and it really is just about ticking off those little micro 1% goals each day and just doing that consistently.
Yeah, that's a good. You made a good point. Like it's once you, which just took a long time to figure out myself, but once you start or stop focusing on the end goal and start focusing on just the process. Like, what's the end goal for building a personal brand? I don't know, getting 100,000 followers, being able to sell access to myself, info products at high clips, blah blah blah. But instead of like wanting that, I'm just in the mindset of here we go, dude. We're about to build a person. About to take 12 months to build a personal brand. This is just the process to go. We got to post every day, sometimes multiple times a day. We need to come up with new real ideas. I need to practice hooks. That's literally what Colin told me yesterday. But your hooks, we got to get so much better, dude. We got to like really hook some people in on these videos. So I'm just thinking of like the most outlandish shit I can say on my reels. But I am looking forward to the process. I'm looking forward to just learning how to do this and watching it grow, not the end goal.
Absolutely love that. And that student mindset is just so key because you could be sitting feeling sorry for yourself, but you're enjoying the journey. And something that I try to talk to about with my fitness guys is they're so focused on the end goal, the six pack, looking in the mirror and having the nice muscles. But in reality, the real goal is becoming the man it takes to get to the goal. Do you know what I mean? Being okay with that process and just realizing that, yeah, I'm becoming that person becoming that person what it's going to take to get there and making sure that I'm ticking off them daily things every single day. And something I saying that I heard Colin Yurkison saying a reel and I absolutely loved it and I say it all the time is time just hasn't caught up yet. If you know that you're ticking off those daily habits each day, it's inevitable. It's gonna come. You just gotta be okay with waiting. But like I said before, nothing in life worth doing comes easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or like fuck that shit, dude. Fuck easy shit. That's not even fun.
So
That's not even fun.
it's so true, but just actually kind of going back a little bit though, like talking about something that I resonated with you, and I know you went through the same problems when you were at college and things. Choosing the easy route, like going out partying, drinking, doing all these things. They were just the easy things at the time, the comfort things. Like looking back at your experience, like that's something that you like see at the time did you realize wow this is actually holding me back from my full potential or did you think that like it was going to help you get to where you are now?
At the time, I wasn't like really focused about it. I wasn't really worried about it. I was more worried about having fun. I viewed so. All right, you're European. All right. Don't know if you are familiar with this TV show. It's on Netflix. It is called Blue Mountain State. Are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah.
Okay. So I watched that series and I remember saying, I don't care if it's the last thing I do, I will make my college experience a replica of this TV show. Dead ass. I dead ass said that to myself. So I was more worried about having fun. Now that I look at it, I'm like, wow, dude, the reason you sucked in college was because of all the other shit you were doing. If you'd have just locked in for a year, you might have been good, dude.
It's crazy. It's oh because I just resonate with that so much but like I said before I look back at my time we call it university over here and I did all the things that I was doing I'm like wow if I didn't do that where would I like I would have got to where I want to be so much sooner. But at the same time, I'm so grateful for those days because it's given me fuel to the fire of where I want to go, and I know the person that I want to be and exactly what I don't want to be. as well. So I am grateful for those days. But just to finish off, Cole, obviously you've had your success with your mouth tape. You're on to TikTok Shop now. Give me a breakdown of where you see the brand going over the next 6 to 12 months, and if you have any other plans with like spin-off products with that.
So next 6 to 12 months, we still haven't hit 100K a month yet. So my goal is to have 100K a month, at least one, if not every single one in Q4 this year. All right, definitely get that up to maybe $250,000 a month, throughout next year. At $250,000 a month, I would really entertain selling it just to a private equity firm. Because that's ultimately, when you're doing stuff like this, when you're building brands, some people get really attached to their brand and their brand is themselves. Like, I don't know if I'll ever sell it. I'm like, good for you too. I made this tape to try and sell this shit for like mid 7 figures, if not 8, like the whole business. So that is my goal next year. It's like get it to scale it high enough to where we can at least entertain a number and see if I want to take it or maybe run it another year, try and get it higher. But we've got the 2, right? So we've got the lavender. It's called Lavender Blossom. And then we've got a regular. It's called Original Midnight. We're working on see, this goes crazy with girls. Guys like this. Both people like this. But we're trying to come up with a scent that goes crazy for guys too. So we are working on a sandalwood scent. And it's going to be like a burnt orange brown color. But yeah, that'll be probably the last tape that we do. And then after that, we will start doing like just horizontal products for the brand. More sleep products, more maybe bathroom products.
And tell me, last question, what piece of advice would you give to someone that's been on the fence, watching maybe your journey, Rob the Bank journey, and they've been on the fence about wanting to start their own brand on TikTok Shop? What would you tell them to do?
Cliche, I know, dude, but like I said, what are you waiting on? Are you just gonna turn fucking 29 one day and be like, damn, I should have done this 10 years ago? Like me, I think that. Like, what are you waiting on? The only way to change it is to do something about it. Like, physically do something. Like, physically sign up. Like, join $1 Million Brand Club. If you join with me, I coach you directly. Like, I've got my own subset within the group, right? So if you join with me, I coach you directly, plus you get access to Rob. But I mean, like, you gotta take action. You've gotta do something. You can't just watch reels. You've gotta do something.
And it's the thing that solves everything.
Right. Right.
Really is. Listen, Cole, that was an absolute banger. I really appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we can get a part two. And you have had all the success that you're hoping for.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much, mate. Thank you.